Well, here we go. So 1 Peter chapter 1. Now, Peter here kind of talks about the blessings of having a living hope in verse 3 here, through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. And then it goes on in verse 6 here, like we talked about earlier. In this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while, if need be, you have been grieved by various trials. Then it goes in verse 7, that the genuineness of your faith, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it is tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. So what do you think that means there in verse 7? Maybe express that in your own words. What do you think that's saying?
Some people say, like, I think for God, we are the precious, like he says, the pearls in there.
Yes, we are precious to God. That's right. Now, this specifically was talking about something that is precious other than the believer. What do you see there that's precious?
Some people see the jewelry.
You-
The jewelry.
The what?
The jewelry.
I can't understand what you're saying.
The jewelry?
Not
Yeah,
sure.
Gold,
jewelry
you
is
mean?
value. Jewelry
Yes,
is
it's something.
pretty.
But what is it? You gotta have that verse in front of you. It would help. Probably you don't have the verse there, but
Well, he's saying that our faith
good.
is more precious. than
Good,
gold.
good, yeah, exactly. He says, the genuineness of your faith being much more precious than gold that perishes, right? So the genuineness of our faith is precious to God. When we walk in faith and we're tested by fire and we come out, you know, kind of like the Hebrew boys, remember the Hebrew boys in the book of Daniel, right? And they're in the fire, you know,
Fiery furnace.
furnace, yeah, right? Their faith was
Yeah.
tested.
It's a type of faith, though. The type is a faith that's been tried by fiery trial.
That's right, exactly. Yep,
That's the kind of faith
exactly.
that we desire.
Exactly. Yep.
It's like
So on my way home, I'm going to have a fiery trial.
Just create your own.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Your bicycle's going to go in flames.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing I've learned about my own little Christian walk is they're not something that you set up for yourself, but it just happens. Life happens. You know, God creates circumstances and things happen, and you're in a trial all of a sudden, right? So, you know, the key is to stick, you know.
That's how you
11
get through it.
people in a house
Yeah.
is a trial.
So if you trust in the Lord,
Exactly.
you're gonna struggle, but you're gonna come through.
That's right.
'Cause you know what's ahead.
Yeah, that's right. Now, does God promise us a cakewalk?
No.
No, He didn't, did He? Yeah, that's right.
But sometimes you go through a struggle
Yeah,
and you don't give up. You
Yeah.
don't quit.
Yeah.
And, you get through it. You go,
Yeah.
"Oh, man."
yeah,
It's like working hard all week, taking,
Yeah.
struggling and suffering,
sure.
and all kinds of bad things happening and
Yeah.
around you, but you keep working, and then
Yeah.
at the end of the week, it's
Mhm.
like a load is lifted when you get that paycheck.
Yeah, right?
You said, "Whoa."
Yep.
And that's kind of like it is. You go through a struggle and a trial, and then when you come out of it,
Mm-hmm.
because your faith wasn't shaken.
Yeah,
It's like your relationship with God begins to grow on through.
that's right.
You get more confident in your trust in Him.
That's right.
Wow, He got me through this.
Yep. Yep. Good. Awesome. Good.
I
You?
don't know.
Anything?
Yeah, this way they explain very good. Like
Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah.
people pass for that.
So does anyone have a testimony like to share about a trial they've gone through with the Lord?
Like you know that when they fire the car.
What
that
happened?
Night, I cannot sleep the whole night. The whole night.
You had a trial last night then, you're saying. Did you have a
So
trial
when
last
you
night?
put a fire to a car.
Yeah, like 3-4 weeks around, they fire a truck.
Where? By your house?
Go by my car.
Oh, by your
Like,
car.
right
Oh,
like,
What
right
happened?
There.
right next to
On
a
that
car,
house,
somebody.
And I
Started
they
shooting a
started
gun?
a fire?
Oh.
Somebody threw a bottle and
Oh.
burner, and I hear the bottle, and I supposed to be think, oh, they gonna fight it. No, everything quiet, nobody fight it, and I said, What? Because they start the alarm beep, 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 beep
Yeah.
for
Oh, the
one
alarm?
time.
So the car burned?
Yeah. And somebody go, I see, like right there, somebody, I see the feet showing there, see it? But doesn't call the fireman.
Ah.
And I say, oh, I have to do it. I have to do it.
Whose car was it? You
I
know?
don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it
Supposed
was-
to be the
Oh, like
car.
the homeless car parked there like hers.
Mm.
The
I don't
car
know.
supposed to be right there.
And the neighbors got together and said, let's
Mm.
And the guy, he lived like right there, nothing far. See, nothing far.
Mm.
the
Because
owner of the car?
yeah, because the firemen they go and leave a message to them at the home.
Well-
and they call the other, you know, the one they move in the car.
Oh,
and
yeah,
take care
tow
of that
truck?
truck.
Well, that's another type of trial, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You're
She was up all night thinking.
Up all night?
To her,
yeah.
God
you
putting me alert. See?
So sometimes you got short trials. Maybe it takes a night.
Did you break?
Oh yeah, I pray and I say, oh God, please, nobody stay in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope
I
we
don't
get
wanna.
hurt.
So sometimes there's a trial like that, right? It might take a night where something crazy happens like that, or longer. What's the longest trial you've ever had? Has anyone had a long trial?
Yeah,
Well-
a couple years.
A couple years?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to share more about it, or?
Always separated from my wife.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah. That's really hard. Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
steadily searching the Lord, being with the Lord, serving the Lord, just
Yeah.
kept you know, with doing, hanging out
God's
with-
work.
You know, going to church, not giving up, and
Yeah.
getting a bunch of weed and going to Mexico.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Living like
Really?
No, kidding.
the new
Yeah.
surfboard.
You know, but I was trying to at times trying to ease my loneliness,
Yeah.
not by chasing one, but
Yeah.
always doing something.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but in doing so, I was serving the Lord.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hang out with people.
Yeah.
And then Debbie and I got back together.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and that's the thing. This one I find is people that are lonely a lot of times will do a lot of things they shouldn't, right? It's hard to be single. If you want to have a trial, be single for a few years, right? Especially if you've already been married or had a relationship, you know, because you get used to that comfort, right? And I've been single for years now, and it's not easy. You know, it's gotten easier over time, but you know, it's either single or married, right? In the kingdom, you can't be this girlfriend, boyfriend, sleeping around thing a lot of people are doing in the world, right? So, yeah. So it's tough, you know. You have to draw the boundaries if you really want to have right walk with the Lord, and you know, I struggle with that too. Is just, but thankfully, you know, I'm pretty involved in a lot of different things, so it helps me. But
Stay
know.
busy.
yeah, stay,
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You gotta stay busy because you know it says about idle minds, right?
yeah,
When you stop serving the Lord and you just
Yeah.
want to start leaning on your own understanding, you're gonna fall apart.
yeah,
But as long as you're staying close to Him,
yeah,
being involved in church outings,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
church services midweek,
Yeah.
Sunday,
you got to
and
stay involved.
volunteering in
Yeah.
different organizations,
Exactly.
outreaches and stuff.
Yep.
You're going to stay close to God, and He's going
Yeah.
to honor that. Not, you know, because He's going to bless you,
Mm-hmm.
and whatever you're struggling with, like Rick was going through that.
Yeah.
But God's a God of reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
He brings us back together.
Yeah.
As long as we're trying and we're doing what's right, He's going to bring
Mhm.
us back together.
Yeah.
But if you start straying off,
Mm-hmm.
you know, one party goes through my first marriage of 30 years. My wife divorced me
Mm-hmm.
right after I finished Christian high school. I was
Mm.
getting my life in order to get back with her, but she went a total different direction.
Yeah.
That destroyed me for a while.
Sure.
But you know, I stayed the course.
Yeah.
I didn't drop out.
Yeah.
And God blessed me with another wife, Joanne.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, kept me in ministry.
Yeah.
Because I was ready to give up
Mm-hmm.
and say, you know, I can't be a pastor for AG, so assembly. So you know,
Mhm.
what's the sense in it?
Yeah.
Might as well get a job and 9 to 5, and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's like he didn't let me, and I stayed close to the Lord. And he gave me a whole new life.
Go, please.
Right?
Rick.
Life of blessings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got through that trial.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a couple homes worth like $1/3 of $1 million, 340. She sold them for cash while I was in the ministry.
Oh, really? Oh,
He was
man.
my son. He had the same name. Used his thumbprint.
Wow.
Poor little guy. And she was homeless in a year.
Uh-huh.
I was homeless when she did that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But God bless me, man. I just stayed the course. That's the thing. If you stay the course, you don't give up.
Yeah.
You know, your faith is growing constantly.
Yeah.
It's like developing new skills and advancing in the job.
Mm-hmm.
God's gonna honor that.
Yeah.
He's gonna raise you up and keep you strong.
Yeah. I think especially if you're working in a church and you maybe have a responsibility, he'll give you more responsibility,
Mhm.
right? Like
Right.
the people will see that you're faithful, and you know, more doors will open up. So that's happened for me, I know. So yeah, that's key right there. That's good. Okay, I'm gonna share this out to you guys. See, this is out of Revelations, kind of connects with this. But we talk about gold that perishes, and there's two different churches in Revelations that kind of relate to this. Revelations chapter 3, 14 through 22 is the church of Laodicea, first of all.
Revelation chapter 3.
Yeah. Yes, we have Revelation 3 and 14, verse 14. Where are we at? Okay, there's. So, it says here, to the angel of the church in Laodicea, the words of the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of God's creation. I know your works. You are neither cold nor hot. He would that they were either cold or hot. So because you are lukewarm, neither hot or cold, I will spit you out of my mouth. For you say, I am rich. Right? They had kind of like worldly gold. I have prospered and I need nothing, not realizing that you are wretched, pitiable, poor, blind, and naked. Then verse 18 kind of relates to what we're talking about. I counsel you to buy from me gold refined by the fire, so that you might be rich, a white garment so that you may clothe yourself, and the shame of your nakedness may not be seen, and eye salve to anoint your eyes so that you may see. Those whom I love I reprove and discipline, so be zealous and repent. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and come into him and eat with him and he with me. And the one who conquers, I'll grant him to sit with me on my throne, as I also conquered and sat down with my Father on his throne. He has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says at the churches. So, how does that, do you think, relate to what we're talking about here in 1 Peter 1:7? What do you see some similarities there? What do you see?
It says, I advise you to buy gold from me. Gold has been purified by fire.
Yes.
How are we
That's right.
going to buy faith?
There you go. Yeah.
I can't buy faith.
No, can't buy faith. No.
What's he trying to say by using the word buy there?
Yeah, that's I think it's symbolic, I think, of just walking in faith. It sounds like these people were walking more in the world versus walking in faith with the Lord. So,
And buy ointment for your eyes that you'll be able to see.
but they think of it this way: you have to pay a price to follow the Lord. So it could be in a sense that way, you know. When we follow the Lord.
What's King James say? I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in fire.
Yeah.
I mean, and oint clothes the shame nakedness may not be, and anoint your eyes with eye salve.
Eye salve. Yeah.
Okay, what's this other one say?
Yeah, it could be to invest in your time.
Yeah, that's right.
Like that guy who brought those 2 wives. Who was that?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't think of his
The part of the passages that I really like the best, got
Mhm.
nothing to do with what you're talking about, is we get to sit with him on his throne.
Oh yeah, if you overcome, right? He says, yeah. Isn't that exciting? But there's a price to pay, is what he's
Yeah.
saying. He says buy. He's saying there's a price to pay. and they're not paying the price. It sounds like they were so lukewarm. He's saying that he's about to spit them out of his mouth. It sounds like they were being worldly, right? They weren't paying the price. What did Jesus say? Count the cost, right? If you want to follow me, count the cost. If you're going to build a tower, count the cost, you know.
Build it.
That's right. Yeah. So that's what I think that comes down to. So, but now let's look at a church that did pay the price. Revelations chapter 2, 8 through 11.
I'm going to have to leave for this one.
Ready to.
This line cut off quickly.
Ready
What
to
chapter?
8 through 11, verse 8 through 11.
What chapter?
Chapter 2.
2. Can I read?
If you can be loud.
Loud.
If you're not loud, then I'm going to read, because I need the people in the world listening on the YouTube to be able to hear it.
And to the angel of the church of Smyrna, write.
There you go.
These sayings says the first and the last, who was dead and came to life. I know your works, tribulation and poverty, but you are rich, and I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but they are a synagogue of Satan.
Good.
Do not fear any of those things which you are about to suffer. Indeed, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and that you will have tribulation for 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life.
Good. And then verse 11, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. The one who conquers will not be hurt by the second death. So that's another promise for the overcomer. So that one, you see, they paid the price. It sounds like they were probably maybe some bold witnesses, maybe for the Lord. Maybe they were persecuted for that, you know, because it sounds like they're in danger of imprisonment. They were dealing with poverty. He says, I know your poverty and your tribulation. And I think a lot of times when you get closer to the Lord, you're going to lose some of the things of the world, right? It's kind of hard to get high up in a company and be a bold witness at the same time, I noticed, right? Now, I'm not saying people that are in companies or whatever, they're not saved, or, you know what I mean? But it's like, what does Jesus say? You can't serve God and money. And it seems like the more money you make at a position, the less likely you're going to be able to talk about the Lord, or right? That's kind of usually how it works.
If you trust Him,
Yeah.
you know, whatever you do,
Yeah.
He's going to turn it into gold through your faith. But, you know, it's like, I remember I went to work at, volunteered to help a church, Capitol Beach.
Yeah.
They started a new ministry to serve in a hospital, right?
Mhm.
Like with the chaplains,
Yeah.
with Christians.
Yeah.
So we started within the first year. They all through that first year they were disrespecting us. They didn't, give us the time of day. We'd be in there trying to talk to a patient. They would come and disrupt us. You know, the nursing staff, the doctors had no respect for us.
Yeah.
But after that first year, they did a survey,
Mm-hmm.
and they were wondering why these patients were getting completely, 100% well
Mm-hmm.
in a short amount of time, where the other patients that had the same operations or the same problems were lingering, taking forever to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So they started going over everything that was going on. They found out that the ones that were having quick recoveries and complete recoveries were the ones that were getting spiritual care.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, but after that, they came back showing a lot more respect
Yeah.
to the clergy.
Mm-hmm.
When we'd be in a room talking, a doctor would come in, and normally they would send us out of the room. And
Yeah.
he'd, oh, go ahead, I'll be back.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
But that's how God works. I mean, when you're serving Him,
Yeah.
He's gonna protect you in every way, because you're bringing glory to Him, and you're doing His work by bringing the miraculous work of healing.
Yeah. And you might.
The doctors did the physical part, but you're doing the spiritual.
Yeah. And you might face persecution, but they can't harm your soul, right? They might destroy your body, but not your soul. That's the main thing,
I
right?
have my body. That's another story. I gotta get going.
Okay, brother. Thanks for coming.
Thank you
Got you
for
guys.
coming.
That's right. You have any special prayer requests?
Yeah, for